Welcome to the Stop Losing Women podcast, where it's all about learning how to keep a girl like me interested for the long haul, if you think you can handle it. And now, here's your host, Harry Wilmington.
So today we're answering a question from a guy who's in a long-distance relationship with a woman that is constantly getting jealous of him for having any female friends and for women commenting on his post and some other various things. And so this is a guy that's wondering if he can figure out some kind of way to convince her that she has no reason to be jealous and stuff like that. So we're going to get into that. As always, guys, if you have a question you want answered on the show, you can write to me at HarryWilmington@gmail.com or leave it in the comments below. Also, go to StopLosingWomen.com and sign up for the Get Girls Academy. When you sign up for my email list, you get instant free access to that course. So all my video courses, all my ebooks, all that stuff is now available for free when you go to the website and sign up for the newsletter. So let's get into this guy's situation, because it's one that, a lot of guys feel as though when women are going through certain things and, trying to bring things to their attention, that it's always warranted. And a lot of times you'll find that it's not. So this guy said the post that he put up said, recent ex thinks relationship is ruined and that cycles can't stop. And so he says, she recently broke up with me a few days ago and says how she misses me and how she wishes things could work, but that she doesn't believe it can. Basically, what happened is that it's her first long distance relationship. Let's just pause there for a second. Why are people continuing to get into long distance relationships? Like, statistically, they've been proven time and time again not to work. But the reason that is because particularly for women, they need to be able to have consistent, visibility with you, to actually meet up with you, experience you in person, be able to touch you, smell you, all that stuff. And so unlike guys who are we're just happy any girl's paying us any kind of attention, to where we can typically hold focus a little bit more. We can go about our day and still be thinking about the girl and still be happy whenever we get to see her, right? But women, part of what attracts them to us and keeps them attracted is being able to constantly recharge their feelings for us. And that starts with being able to see us on a regular basis. So if you're doing long distance, that is why you're typically going to struggle a lot more with keeping those women interested, because they're not able to experience you enough times in real time to really hold on to their feelings for you. So you really need to stop looking at, oh, this girl lives 7 states over, we can make it work. How, Sway? Unless you guys are going to be seeing each other once or twice a month by way of airplane and seeing each other in person, that's not going to really be a thing that's going to keep this glue together to keep you guys in a relationship. So he's already failing by agreeing to a long distance relationship in the first place, which is no bueno. Anyway, so it's her first long distance relationship, and he says she gets really insecure a lot. Well, I can show you it's not just because of the long distance. She's in general an insecure person, but we'll get into that in a second. He says, when we first met, I had been talking to a bunch of other women, but I stopped that once we got together. She still seems to hold it against me. That was 3 months ago. So already you have a woman that is not being logical about the dating process, because the reality is when this guy first met her, she was not standing out or being as special as the other women he was potentially talking to. That is normal. It's not like you meet a girl on a dating app and automatically you're like, oh my God, she's the one. She is everything I want. You're not going to realistically know that. So you may have met her on a dating app, or met her at a networking event, or met her through friends, and she might be a cool person, but you can't yet project that she's going to be your end all be all. And so, yeah, you entertaining other women in addition to the one that you think you might want is perfectly fine, because you don't really know which one of these 4 or 5 women are going to actually go the distance. So for her to be holding a grudge against that all these months later, when in the beginning he didn't owe her any kind of loyalty, that's already a bad sign. That's already indicative of a woman that is going to hold things over your head, because she's going to always be able to revert back to, but it's almost like when you were cheating on me when we first met. And it's that's not even really a thing. Chick, slow down. We had a date, had a good time. I had a good time with 4 other chicks that I went on dates with. You were not in the running for anything yet. You were just on the starting line of what could eventually be the person that I chose, but you weren't that person. And so the fact that she can't logically understand that, that's already a bad sign for how she takes things emotionally and how immature she actually is. Let's continue. So, says that was 3 months ago. She still gets jealous and triggered about things like if another woman comments on a post of mine, even if it's someone I was never romantic with and don't really even talk to anymore. It's caused arguments, and we've broken up once before this, and there were a few other times we almost did. Well, part of the reason that you guys are having arguments, honestly, is because you think you can actually try to logically convince her to not feel the way she's feeling. You can't. She's going to feel the way that she feels because she's emotionally messed up, and your level of talking to her about this and trying to convince her, historically, that's not really something that effectively works on most women. Like, you trying to logically talk her out of how she feels about a thing is not going to usually result in you getting what you want. But that also starts at the baseline that she's starting with is she's going to be jealous, she's going to be insecure, and no amount of trying to talk her off the ledge is going to make her feel differently when she sees a woman that you've never been romantic with trying to comment on your page. That is all internal stuff. You can't fix that about her, but you trying to talk her into it, it leads to you're trying to push forward a logical argument, and then she feels like she's not being heard or understood, so she's trying to explain to you the feeling she's having in her head, which is an illogical feeling, and now you're trying to talk against the illogicalness of that, and that's frustrating you, and that's frustrating her, and that's what's causing arguments. And this is why, as a general rule, you as a guy should not be trying to argue with women. Like, it would be better if she was like, well, I feel some kind of way, this and that, and your response should just be like, hey, if that's how you feel, it is what it is. I'm not going to stop. I'm not going to feel bad about women commenting on my page. And then if she tries to talk further, you can be like, again, I'm not going to discuss it. It is what it is. Like, you're making the choice to allow her to bring up things that you decide to engage with in terms of an argument that you really shouldn't be engaging with. Now, if that means that you lose her as a result, great, because you don't need that stressor on your life. I'm just saying arguing with her about how she feels about a thing is not a smart strategy, and definitely not against somebody who's already in their body decided that I'm going to feel threatened anytime any kind of woman walks into his life. How is this going to play out long term? You're going to go to a restaurant one day and a server's going to come over to you that has a bunch of heaving boobs popping out of her shirt, and your girl's going to feel some kind of way about you trying to give your order to her. Like, this has domino effects, and that's going to play into even something like I've literally dated women who were so jealous that they would get jealous of female cousins of mine simply because me and my female cousin went to hang out. Like, this is where this ends up going, and you're trying to salvage this. You're not really looking to the future of where this is going to be, but it's going to be annoying. It's going to be frustrating for you and her. Even though she's being illogical, it's going to frustrate her because in her head, you having any girls around, how dare you do that when she's supposed to be the end all be all? It's not a rational thought, but the point is that you're still trying to argue against somebody that's irrational, and you don't win those arguments. You just have more arguments as a result. Anyway, he says, I tried telling her yesterday that we could do something to work on it so the cycle doesn't continue, but she doesn't think there's any way, and that if there was, then it would have stopped by now. You know what? She's absolutely right. Like, she at least recognizes that however she's operating and functioning, she's not going to stop doing that. Let's learn to listen to people when they give us advice that's solid, even if it means it's advice about them being irrational. Like she's saying, I don't see myself not being able to not be jealous about girls commenting on your page or about you having female friends. Let's listen to her and not assume that we can therapize or psychologicalize her out of being that kind of person. If she decides that she's ready to stop being like that after like the 10th guy she's dated who she's jealous of, then that's on her to do. It's not your responsibility in spite of how much you want her. He says, these are things I've learned now that I didn't realize in the beginning, and I think that alone can help a lot now that I understand what's going through her head and the kinds of things that trigger her. Well, the thing that triggers her is any women at all being in your life. And so it doesn't matter what you've learned about her or what her triggers are, because now what you're going to try to do is be the guy that walks on eggshells like, oh, okay, I know not to bring up other women around her. And I know I need to probably like get rid of all the female friends on my social media. And I got to make sure that I turn all my comments off so no women can, like, you're going to try to go to all these extremes to try to keep her happy. And it's not going to keep her happy. You're going to be like, you're going to see her for a day and then be like, oh my, I got to go. I'm going to go hang out with some friends of mine. And she's going to be all like, well, are you going to be hanging out with other girls? Are there going to be other girls there? Like, I'm telling you, I've dated these kind of women. I dated a woman one time where like she would be preemptively asking me if the places I was going to have women and if I was going to try to like touch their butts or flirt with them. Like, again, this is not the kind of stress that you need to bring on in your life. But what you need to do is recognize when a woman is doing this and say, oh, this is a woman that's experienced some trauma. She's probably damaged and she has a lot going on inside of her that makes her insecure and jealous. And that's not my issue to fix. It's my issue to recognize how she is and decide if I want to deal with that, because she's not going to change. So if you date her, you have to know she's going to be jealous. She's not going to like you hanging around other women. She's not going to like the idea of other women even in your orbit. Can you handle that? If you decide to date her after knowing that, then what you're saying is, yes, I agree to those terms. You can't be mad that you're frustrated later, that she just doesn't understand. And how can I talk about it? She's already showing you that she's not going to be the kind of person that can be talked out of feeling this way. Even though she's being irrational, she could know she's being irrational and still act this way. You can't fix that. So then he says, I've told her that I don't think it's ruined and that there is a way we can work it out. I pointed out that we both still like each other so much and that we would both like things to work out if possible. So now you're begging. Famously, begging to keep a woman in your life also doesn't work. You'd be better to be like, if she said, I think we should break up, to just be like, well, okay, if you change your mind, let me know, because that'll let her realize, oh, you're not trying to like solely rely on her for your happiness. You're not thinking she's the only woman. And that causes a lot of pressure if you're making women feel like she's the only woman. So again, you got to recognize that this woman ultimately is saying to you, I'm this way and I'm a lot and I don't think it's going to work out as a result. Let's listen to what she's saying because she's accurate in her assessment of herself, all right? And the reality is, again, you trying to beg to stay in her life, women have to choose to be with you. So even though she's saying I want to be with you, but I don't think of X, Y, and Z, she's saying she doesn't want to be with you. She's saying she recognizes this dynamic is not going to work, and kudos for her to at least recognizing that versus trying to stay in something knowing she's going to feel some kind of way. But you guy trying to beg for this is you're begging to stay with a woman that is inherently toxic and that's going to make your life a living hell. Let's not do that. Let's not think less of ourselves and think that we can't find better, because there's always better out there that are more rational. And I say this as a guy that, growing up, I grew up mostly around women. Most of my friends are women just because I know how to talk to them and I understand them and relate to them pretty well. So even within my relationship, like a lot of my friends are women, I could not be married to somebody that was going to be jealous of that, because they're going to be jealous of everybody that I know. Most of my best male friend died last year. So most of my friends now are, that close friends anyway, are like women friends that we sometimes hang out, go to the movies. They call me when they're going through stuff. And so to have somebody that's like, well, I don't want them talking to you and you can't see the movies with them, like that would be very, very stressful. And so, if you're dating women that are going to get jealous as a result of you having any female friends whatsoever, understand, guy, either you're going to have to lose those friends or you're going to have to lose the woman that you're with, because you can't have those two things cohesively together. It's going to cause a lot of clashes and a lot of arguments. And I'm just for not being in a relationship where you got to argue all the time about dumb stuff. And what she's bringing to the table is a bunch of dumb stuff. Anyway, he says, I think if there's some way I can convince her that there is a way to break the cycle, or if I could think of some kind of plan or something that would help stop things from escalating if these things come up, that maybe she would be willing to try again if she had hope that it could change. Is there any advice? Yeah, this is dead in the water. You've already got the long distance thing working against you. And also you have her jealousy and insecurity issues also working against you. And again, look, life is hard. The person you're in a relationship with should take away some of that hard. If life is hard and you're also picking mates that are going to make your life hard, then you're going to be in a tumultuous situation all the time and it's going to drive you crazy. So let's not assume that this bag of trash is the only thing out there for you. You have to start understanding that there is better out there, and that with the right tools and tips and training, you can become the kind of guy that a bevy of women will like. He himself already said at the beginning of this, he was talking to a bunch of women when he met her. And he found out that this woman is not the one he should be talking to long term. Great. Go talk to some of those other women and then meet some more women. And eventually you'll find one that is a lot more sane than this one is. So hopefully for you guys watching this, you kind of get a better understanding. If you need more help with this stuff, all my materials are now free except for the one-on-one coaching. You can go to stoplosingwomen.com and sign up for my newsletter, which will give you instant access to the Get Girls Academy, which has all of my best video courses on how to get women, how to do online dating. We have interviews with the experts. You can also read all of my ebooks now for free. That's Stop Losing Women. That is No Girls for You. That's 10 Ways to Get Your Ex Back. All those things are available for free at the website. If you need more one-on-one personal training with your personal situation, you can also sign up for one-on-one coaching at stoplosingwomen.com. If you're listening on the podcast, you can watch these videos that I make at youtube.com/stoplosingwomen. That's all I got. I'm Harry Wilmington, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. I'm out. Peace.
Thanks for listening to the Stop Losing Women podcast. See you later, big boy.